Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, The Vibes Inside. I am Mariana and I am preparing to do a full moon reading in the sign of Capricorn, happening on the 10th of July 2025. The exact time depends on where you are in the world. But I would say that this energy has been present for at least, I want to say, I have felt this energy for at least around a week or so. And it will stay for at least 3 days, maybe more, very active. After the 10th. The 10th is like the peak, you could say, where the full moon is fully full, you would say, right? So full moons can indicate completion or a potential of completion. And Capricorn talks about, it talks about lessons that may have to do with Saturn, like challenges, perhaps. Saturn is said to be connected with the 10th house of work, or I feel like work identity, right? That what we relate to about ourselves, that has to do with the work that we do in the world. So I talked about completions. I'm not, for some it could be that you're retiring, right, from work. But for others it may be that, let's say you have finished an education and you can now apply for a certain job. So the work you have put in as a student is done and you can now apply to become an employee instead, right? So take that how it resonates for you. For others it may be that you are changing jobs or you are thinking about it, right? That this full moon can be this feeling of, I want something else, I want a different way of income, I feel I want to change my routines in some way regarding work or the identity that you have around work. For instance, if you are retiring, there could be something about your identity that shifts because you are no longer a bookkeeper in a company, right? You are no longer a captain on a ship. You are no longer an engineer or a mechanic or whatever you are. You are no longer this actively, but inside you may still be to a certain point, right? I have the yellow cloth on the table. I'm not quite sure yet why, because Capricorn is considered an earth sign. And yellow, it could be that we are still in Cancer season, but we are approaching summertime, right? We are approaching, the sun is becoming more and more prominent in our life in some way, right? At least in the upper hemisphere where I sit, that the yellow can be associated with the sun, with fire, with fire energy, solar plexus. It could be something that drives you, a personal wish, a personal drive to manifest something, right? That you want to take action, you want to be productive in some way, which is also work related, right? You want to take action, you want to be active, you want to pursue something maybe. Again, a full moon indicates a stop of something to maybe begin something else, right? When something stops, something new tends to begin. Maybe less work, maybe more work, I don't know. It depends on your life situation. The full moon just indicates that there is a feeling of completion, or maybe pause, right? Because many people, at least in the upper hemisphere where I live, the Western world also, they have summer vacation coming up, and it means a pause from work, right? It means that you are off work for a while. And sometimes when we are off work, we have time to think about something else. We have time to relax the brain a little bit. And this is where we sometimes find ourselves pondering about maybe another job or different opportunities or different dreams in some way. And it may have a sense of a bit of a challenge, right? Because Capricorn is connected with Saturn, and Saturn is well known to be a you could say Saturn brings the gift, but it's very ugly wrapped. Saturn brings forth something in our lives that seem terrible, but actually, when we have considered it and learned what we need to learn about this, we find the blessing, right? But it may be a really tough challenge to figure out and to overcome. So that's Saturn's way of showing us or teaching us something about ourselves and something about the life we have here. Let's see. I get the feeling of something is far away. Well, Saturn is far away, right? Potentially from Earth, but something is far away. Or the feeling like I want to make this phone call, but I get it's like it's always occupied, or I can't get through. It's like something is not I may need to tune a little more in, but I have this feeling of it's, well, you know, it's like if someone has been in the work field for many years, let's say 40 years, 50 years, you have been showing up to do your work, and now you are retiring, right? And it's like to cut off the work flame in you, to now have a retired pause and non-occupied flame in you is far away, right? It feels like a shift that is, it's a long time ago. I have that feeling. It's a long time ago I could be like this, right? Or it's a long time ago, or it's a... So the shift feels like something is far away, like the happy, like the benefit and the happiness of relaxing and having time to do whatever you want, for instance, right? Or sometimes people talk about that when they actually have vacation, it takes them 14 days to de-stress to a level where they actually can relax, and then the holiday is almost over. Do you get my point? It's like it's far away to slow down to that level. Does that make sense? Like a feeling of, or it's far away to up your pace, like from, I don't know, maybe you have been unemployed and now you have to work, and then it's far away to get that drive going. Do you get my point? Like that is, it's that kind of feeling something is far, like it's misaligned. It's like you are not aligned, or it is not aligned. You are not aligned with it. It's like there's a distance between where you are and this other so the full moon always comes in the opposite sign of or season, you could say, the opposite season. So Capricorn has its season in wintertime, in the opposite hemisphere, the wintertime, around December, right? But we are in spring season right now, almost summer season, right? It is July, June, July, Cancer season, and that is the opposite sign of Capricorn. So Capricorn has to do with work, career, being very focused on something. And then you could say the Cancer is always in astrology mostly concerned about the fourth house, which is the home. The home should be the place where we relax, where we are not working, but where we are relaxing. We rejuvenate, we sleep, we pause and breathe with the people closest to us. And it should be a place of rejuvenation and love and care. So in the season where we have this watery element around us, the watery Cancerian element around us, we now have this full moon that is a contrast to the Cancerian watery realm. We now have this very, you could say, focused earth sign, earth element. Capricorns can seem aloof. They are very focused, very career driven, very so I would guess that a Capricorn can sometimes have a hard time being at home, because everything in the Capricorn mind, I think, has to do with working, finding ways to earn money, finding ways to show up in the world, finding ways to fix something or build something, or to be at home and relaxing can be this feeling of restlessness, right? That the sense of restlessness. Again, I have this feeling of distance, that vacation can actually be stressful for some people, right? Because their mind is so focused on something else. Their entire being is like that. So for some people, we are happy and we lean right into the vacation, and for others, it is stressful. It's like, what am I supposed to do, right? What am I supposed to do with this time? I don't know what to do. This is painful almost. Like, it's painful not to know, not to have a plan, right? That there's no plan to follow. There's nothing to like achieve in some way. Pausing vacation is not about achievement necessarily, right? It's about relaxation. And I have this feeling that someone or some feel misaligned, like it's too far away, or it's like it's so long ago. I don't know how to not do what I do, right? I don't know how to stop myself, actually. I don't know how to not work, or I don't know how to not be focused, or not make plans, or not be efficient, or not, I don't know how not to do that. I don't have an off button like that. So it's like I'm over here and I can watch it. I watch that there's this potential over here, right? But I just, I think you get my point. That is the feeling that I have, which makes sense, I feel like, for Capricorn and Cancer. Again, they're opposite signs, and I've talked about opposite a lot on my channel, this yin and yang thing, this dark and white, dark and light, black and white, and so on, up and down, tall and short. Every time we have this, it is literally an opposite. So when we talk about vacation, if let's say we have a pair, a couple, where one is Cancer and one is Capricorn, I am not sure that they both have the same idea about vacation. One will love it, will love all the time together, all the things they can do together, the togetherness and this relaxing in the garden, right? And the other one may hate it, like they may really not enjoy it. Do you get my point? Like that there's something about this, that someone feels like it's too far away, or if you're married to a workaholic, for instance, they probably, and now I'm really honest, right? They probably enjoy working more than being at home with you. I'm sorry to say that, but that is like the most real expression. And if we know that, about them, if we know that work is their oxygen, and when we take that oxygen away from them, they feel terrible. They are stressed. Right? And for others, it may be the other way around, that home and relaxation is your oxygen. And going out there and being under work pressure is suffocating, right? So this is about understanding different energies and how they work. And when we understand this about each other, we may find a different common ground. We may need to understand that for us to have this vacation together or have this time together is we need to give each other space to have, like a sense of honesty, I think, because otherwise we will never find that common ground, not opposites. Not opposites. But if you know that about your partner, that they enjoy working more than being with you, hopefully you are a workaholic too, because then you would understand each other, right? You would prefer it that way. But if you are not like them, you may ask for their attention. You may ask them to come home and enjoy a meal with you, a dinner with you. You may ask for couples night out, and you may ask for, mini trips and, things where you are together. And they are maybe avoidant in some way, right? I'm just, what I'm doing here, right? If you have followed me on my channel, I'm always somehow, I'm in this middle field. I feel like sometimes I'm a kind of interpreter, like this middleman thing, that I'm supposed to be, like an interpreter, right? I interpret one language with another. I'm trying to make and people understand something. It's not that the other one is an idiot. It's not that one is needy and the other one is an idiot, right? It's not like that. It's just different. Opposites attract. That's not unusual. But living together and finding that common ground takes a lot of communication and trust that when the other one is absolutely honest with you, you may not like what you hear, but you can work with it. Like if you don't take it personal, it is. I don't think it's personal. It's simply their oxygen, right? It's that's what it is. And I believe that opposites can present suffocating environments for each other. They can also present nurturing, good, supportive environments for each other if they communicate. But if not, right, that's my personal take on this. I think you know that. If you have followed me on my channel, you know that this is what I do. Okay, let's have a look. The center card, always important. Let's have a look at this Capricorn full moon here. Circle of eternal joy, timelessness, dance of life. Circle of eternal joy. I have that feeling of timelessness. Is like flow, right? It's where we are off the clock. We are in vacation. We are reading this book and can't seem to put it down, and time goes by, we don't really register that we have been spending 7 hours reading, right? This is where we enter this space that is absolutely, that draws us in and captivates our attention, right? It's so, it says here eternal joy, right? Circle of eternal joy, timelessness and dance of life. Look at her, right? She's looking back before she walks into this space, right? It's almost like maybe someone has really looked forward to retire or to stop whatever they were doing and trying something new. Maybe your hobby becomes your work, you know. But it's like she's just taking a look back, right, at where she has been. And now she is saying goodbye to this place and moving in here, right? A place, a cycle of eternal joy, it's timelessness. I have the feeling of retirement, or I hear off the hook. It's, yeah, and that makes sense. If you feel like you have been on the hook and the hook was something uncomfortable, then this being off the hook means that you are free in some way. Timelessness, the sense of no time, right? There's no clock. There's nothing that keeps you attached to a certain plan of some kind. You are without or off plan, or without plan. There's no structure or plan. It's without that, right? It's like leaving it behind. And that, again, circle of eternal joy could be the feeling that now when I go through here, I'm on vacation, right? I fly to this world. I'm on this vacation where I'm visiting a beautiful countryside, right? I'm visiting these interesting cultural sites, or fancy food or drink or wine, or I'm having this, like, I'm attending something. I'm attending a group travel, or I'm on this perfect spot where everything is just without plan. There's no plan. Summer vacation with no plan, right? There's no plan. There's no alarm clock in the morning. There's no back and forth traffic to work. There's no demands from customers, or from maybe other co-workers, employees, maybe bosses, and you are off in the sense that maybe, like, some of the day-to-day chores and routines are not there. Washing clothes and making dinner in your normal kitchen, your normal home. Maybe you are off, like you go to this hotel, or you go to this vacation site where it's all inclusive, right? You don't have to plan or do anything. You can just rest that mind of yours, and the doing and the planning and the being active and the masculine fire that is normally, used to plan and to fix and to build and to get up on time and keep a schedule and be reliable and be productive and all that stuff, that it feels like getting off the hook. It's like, I'm done, I'm out of it, I don't have to do this anymore. The feeling of having lifted something, carried something for a long time, carried a weight for a long time, and then letting it go somehow. But it is in the center, and I have that feeling that this is the goal, right? As I said before, like these two, that there is this, someone is watching, right? They're watching the potential, like this is the cycle here, right? And the one standing here is still over here somehow, I feel like. They know that this is where they're going. This is what they want to go, perhaps. They want less structure or less pressure or less work or less something. So they want to go over here, but they are still looking back. Like they're still looking in this direction, right? Even though the body has turned around, like the body has turned around, it's almost like the mind has still the orientation here in this world, right? But the body has turned around and is ready to go. But the mind, not really. The mind still has a, what is that? It's like, I can't let it go. The feeling, I can't loosen the grip. I can't just, maybe that's why I had that feeling of like this distance, that, but if I lose the grip, if I don't keep my structure, if I'm not working, or if I'm not productive, or if I don't look, if I don't check, if I don't set my alarm clock, what is my life going to be then, right? Even though the potential of something timeless, a dance of life, something eternal joy here is potentially there, but it's almost like I feel like there could be some kind of responsibility or duty here. And again, this feeling of like it's too far away. There's still something I have to do here. Still something I have to be attentive to. A duty or a responsibility I have, even though this is right in front of me. I could let go. I could let go and just let myself be almost sucked into this, just relaxing into it. I could do that, but there's something that feels like I can't do it anyway. Ace of Air. Ace of Air. Well, aces talk about new, right? Something new, a new thought. Air can be, air for me has to do with a new message, a new thought pattern, and sometimes identity, because that's how I interpret air energy, because air energy is everything we talk about, everything we are consumed with information. It's everywhere. And an ace of air is like a new information, new message, new thought. I see this sometimes, this Pegasus here that seems to, I see it a bit like it's birthed, like it comes out of this cloud somehow, that it suddenly it appears out of being birthed here. So there could be a feeling of a new thought pattern, or as I said, a new identity, a new role. You don't have to do the same anymore, right? You don't have to be the same. You don't have to be, you could go there, you could do this, but you're still wondering, or you're still not sure, perhaps, right? There's something that still feels like it's too far away, like this of eternal joy and timelessness and relaxation, and that kind of feeling, it's too far away. It could be the feeling that you're still in your 20s and you're looking forward to be retired, right? To retirement, but it's too far away. So an ace of air could talk about like can I not just, can't I just have this new beginning? Or of course it could be the other way around, that this realm indicates the eternal joy, that this is where you have been, like a child, right? You were at home, you went to school, now you have finished school and you are going in here, but this is the workplace. So your life of like more immature life, a life of you could say where you didn't have much responsibility, you could live a more playful life, eternal joy, timelessness, like a flow life, a life where you are not so conscious about and not planning much about your life, because your parents did, right? Or your teachers did, they planned the education, you just kind of follow it. But now it's like being this birth, that now you have this new role. It's like taking on a new identity, you become something else. You are evolving, right? We're evolving into an adult, or it's an interesting thing with the birth and it's like a curve. I see it like a curve, like it's like we are born here with almost no activity. We're using the body, but we're not running around and doing much. And then there's this learning curve that just seems to to like where we are learning everything and we become older, we go to school and so on, get a certain kind of education, then we work, and then it starts to go down again, right? Then it's like we are losing power here. We're losing power. It goes down, and it becomes less. So we start we start feminine and we end feminine. Like we start less active and more in a, you could say, a dream world, or in a, where we are more unconscious, right? And then we become a lot conscious and we learn about life conditions and whatever we need to learn. And we do that for a long time. We reproduce, get our children, and teach them some of the same stuff. And then we are losing some of the power. It goes down again. Eventually, if we go into old life and becoming elderly, and you live a full life, so you have a natural death, we become almost like children again, right? We become less and less active. Our muscles can't do it anymore. We are losing power here, losing power. So I see it like this. We are born feminine, then we become more and more masculine, losing masculinity, losing it, and then become more feminine again. That's how I see it. Like, and the shift, like the shift from being in the feminine realm as a child. When does it shift and become more masculine, right? And when does it shift on the other curve, when it goes down again? When is the shift where you go from being very organized and very reliable and very trustworthy and capable and strong and fit and healthy and everything, to not be that as much anymore, right? There's always this birth of like a new role or new identity. But I feel like timelessness is like this sin zone. It's like this, maybe an imaginary realm, maybe a vacation realm, maybe just a pause, right? You did something, you're off that hook, you don't have to do this anymore. You are finished with school, right? Or you're finished with work, or you're finished with some kind of role that you have played. You have been, maybe you've been a role. You have played a role in your family, let's say that. And now you don't have, let's say you were this good daughter, right? But when mom and dad are gone, maybe you don't have to only be that, right? Maybe you are off the hook now. Nobody's watching, right? You can now do what you want to do, perhaps. You can be more free. There is a new beginning of something here, a new beginning of, well, I feel air is, it's everything that we say, right? It's everything we think. It's the thought patterns that govern us and rule us, and the conditioning that we have received, the things we've heard the things we've learned at school and everything. Now it seems like you can, Ace of Air is now a new step. It's something new, something birthed here, right? A new thought that may come in that potentially is a new relief, perhaps a relief, a zone of relief, a sense zone of relief or eternal joy. And again, remember what I said before about like the workaholic and the homebody, right? That eternal joy depends on who is looking. Like from what viewpoint eternal joy is. For some, retirement will be eternal joy, finally, right? For others, it is a stressor. It's like I'm losing my entire identity. I don't know who I am if I don't work. I don't know what to do with myself. So we have 8 of Wands. This is interesting, 8 of Wands. Usually it talks about, I know the interpretation, some interpret this card as passionate back and forth communication. But I feel like okay, so just to show you what I still have to figure out why I am drawn to this. I'm drawn to the sunshine here, the glimpse that comes, and this one, right? That this new Pegasus is kind of born from some kind of light. It's almost like this epiphany, right? A feeling of an epiphany that kind of births this new thought or this new role, this the breakthrough. The breakthrough is perhaps the retirement date or the graduation date or something. That this is where something else is birthed. You are no longer the student, right? You are no longer employed. Now you are something else. The same here. It's like something is dawning, right? Or well, dawning and dusk maybe, or dawning and dawn as well. So again, a new role and new thought patterns. It's like a change of mind, or a relief, a sense of relief. Again, because I have the feeling that over here as well there's light. There's this light that shines through the circle here. There's this feeling that over here is this light. And when I just get over here, something new is birthed. Something new. I will be relieved. I can fly away. Right? I can fly away when I get to this. I can fly away. It's almost like a sense of prison, or again, yeah, off the hook, released. I'm released, or relieved, off the hook, I can fly away. Again, I get something about responsibility, something about duty, something about no longer my problem or no longer my responsibility, right? Yeah, this feels to me like when you go through this circle here, it's like this is where what happens. This is full of color, green and yellow and orange and blue. It's colorful. And then we have these animals that just quietly walk around here to eat their grass, right? It's a quiet place. Normally, this card is normally interpreted like back and forth communication, but actually I feel more like one way. It's like something is sent off. Again, I have this feeling of like I am releasing myself of some kind of responsibility, right? I'm sending the wands. The wands can be something you use to fight with. I'm sending the wands off to just enjoy this, right? I don't need them anymore. I don't need all this. Well, wands energy is fire, right? It's and we can use them to fight with, right? We can use them as a weapon to fight with, fight off the things that we don't want in our lives. Wands is also used to fight for the things we want in our lives. So it can be used as a weapon against someone. It can be used as a weapon to protect something and to get something. We can use our weapon to fight through, to cut down the road or the path through a jungle, right? It can be a tool. But it feels a bit like sending them off, like I'm done with the fighting. I'm done with fighting. Or I'm done with something that feels like a fight. I'm done with something that feels like a fight. Something that feels like and I feel like this is very Capricorn, right? That the Capricorn, the things that Capricorns face in life are like they are so tough. It's such struggle, right? Again, I have feeling of like letting the struggle go, right? All the things that may have happened in your life. Of course, you can keep track on them. You can keep your black book, but it won't give you peace. it won't give you happiness. It just gives you, well, I can give you another example, and maybe that's also why this one is here. It's the feeling of, let's say, I saw a documentary once about like a Jewish family in New York. Some have been, after the German war, some family members, they fled to the Americas and settled there, and they have got their family there, and what they do is that they keep like the awareness of all the struggle that Jews have been going through, the Holocaust, this terrible thing, right? They're keeping it alive, like they keep it active in the mind space. They keep talking about it. They have like evenings where they sit and dwell in it, right? And all the family members are asked to join. Also the new ones, like the young people, they are asked to become married young and get lots of children, right? Because they want to repopulate the Jewish community or the Jewish population on earth. They want to get it back. So they're asking the young children to keep producing babies, right? So that we can have more Jews back. And they keep this story alive. And I'm not saying that it's, I don't know, right? I've just been pondering about this. Is it helpful for us to keep some of the tragic things alive? Like keeping it like this constant dialogue and having all these weapons active, you know? They look a bit like missiles, right? Is it helpful for us who bear the stories, who have witnessed something, and then giving it to our children? Is that helpful? Is it helpful in how they are supposed to now shape their world, like their existence, to go out in the world, to have their life? Is it even their life? If we tell them, this is important, this is what your life is supposed to be, you're supposed to get married. And I saw another film, it was called Unorthodox, I feel like. It's fictive film, but it talked about young Jewish couple as well, where this young wife, she chose to ran away, and follow her dream of learning to play the piano and making music, which was not allowed. But that may have been her internal joy. That may have been where she could find this feeling of just flowing, right? I'm not sure the stories that we tell is a help for new generations. Well, I get it that they may need a bigger of a picture, right, of how humanity can be and treat each other, but I don't think that it's helpful to like keep arms up, right, to be aggressive and angry and bitter and sad, and I don't think it's helpful for new generations. This could talk about an epiphany that says that you have a new thought. The new thought of how to get to your eternal joy is to let go of something, to send it off, right? That's what I feel like. Can I get another card on this one, please? Just asking my guides here to help me. Feel this one. Feel this one. That's what I have. It's a sense of like a goodbye, right? Sending off something you may have burned for, something you feel like you may have burned for earlier, but it's like you're sending it off, right? All the things you have prioritized, it's like all these old ideas, or all these old values, and all these old duties, and all these old stories, or these old maybe wounds. Like the wands energy is usually something you can, it drives you, right? It's something it can be a passion, right? But it can also be like an anger, right? I feel like sending the anger off, the frustration, maybe the feeling of powerlessness, right? That we have to send it off to have more joy in life, right? And that is a lesson, right? It's a lesson. You can hold on to it for dear life, right? And you can use it as to create prejudice about situations. And especially when it's hearsay, right? That it's a story that is passed on and then passed on and passed on. Then you have this subjective mindset that is always interpreting something, and then gives the story to their children, who gives it to their children. Every time the story can become bigger or worse, and I'm not saying that Holocaust wasn't terrible. It was like, yeah, I don't even have words for it, right? But the point is it helping the new generations? Like, does it help to be angry? Does it help to carry the anger of your ancestors, right? Does it, and the frustration and the bitterness and the judgment and does it help, right? Does it help? Or does it help to arm yourself, right? To always be on guard, to always be ready to fight, to always, I feel like it's like it's being sent off to the universe, right? Or it's been sent out in the world, out somewhere. Yeah. Again, now I wanted to have another card on this Eight of Wands, and it says here, door to personal healing and happiness. It's like there's this doorway, exactly as this one, right? Like there's a doorway to personal healing and happiness, eternal joy. And the happiness is to, I feel like, send something off, right? Send it off. It's not helping. Like anger, bitterness, frustration, missed opportunities, wasted energy, perhaps. You know, all everything that gives us, again, but fire can also be excitement, right? It can be fun. It can be alluring. It can be, yeah, exciting and fascinating, right? I just have the feeling that it's like, this looks so peaceful, this peaceful land, green, peaceful land, right? And then we're sending it off, not, it's almost like keeping the peace or something, keeping the peace. And I have to let this go, like my frustration or my, as I just said, it can be the other way around. It can be exciting, full of pleasure and joy. It can be fascinating. It can be sexual. It can be sensual. It fire energy can be and it's difficult to stop it, right? When we get excited about something, we can't just stop that feeling, right? At least we kind of have to send it somewhere, or we have to. That's what sometimes happens with anger, right? If the man is angry with his wife and yells at her, then sometimes she takes that anger and yells at the children. And then the children yells at the smaller sibling, or they yell at a friend or a dog or something like that, right? And because it's like it gets this ripple effect that if you start something and put it in motion, that it can't just, it never really fits well if it just stops there. Then someone is going with, they have been the recipient of this angry energy and cannot really get rid of it unless they push it somewhere else, right? This is like sending it off, I feel like. Sending it out of you, out of somewhere, and then towards something else. And I have that again, this was to clarify, right, that it's like there's a doorway. The doorway comes when, if this door is closed, then you don't have the ability for personal healing or happiness. This is like opening it's like stepping on a new train, right? Like here, it's like She is on one train, but when she goes over here, she's going somewhere else, or she exists in one realm, and here she exists in another one, because there is a load that has been somehow released in some way. And when that load is released, you can have this, right? I still want one more card. What are the wands here? Like, what does that represent? Exactly. Like the wands, is it like, I have a feeling of frustration and anger and bitterness and like where you had to fight, right? Capricorn is about fighting. It's always uphill. Capricorn, always uphill. Like and that's why they are so persistent, right? That's why they know they can't be sloppy, right? Everything is very serious with Capricorn, right? There's something at stake. It's like it's now or never. It's dead or alive. It's serious. It's serious business for Capricorns. Purification, fire, yeah. Bare essentials, the naked truth, wholeness. Purification of your fire. Fire, fire, right? That's why I had fire. I feel like why the yellow is here, because there is something very vital about fire that needs to be understood. I feel like around this full moon in Capricorn, that the fire you have can be a force to move you forward, but it can also be a force to drain your energy and keep you stuck, depending on how you use it, right? When you purify your anger or your resentment or your bitterness or jealousy, and you are very the naked truth, like you become very real with yourself. Again, bare essential here. You become very real with yourself. What are the essentials that you actually want? What is important to you? What is the raw, vital essentials for you? What is the naked truth? I said that in the beginning also, this thing about if your spouse, and I said it, right? I said something like, you can go back and watch some of the beginning, right? I said something like, and I stressed it. I said that now I'm going to tell you something that you may not like to hear, right? But it's the truth, right? I said something like, maybe if you have a workaholic husband, and you would prefer them to be more home, you would prefer them to like choose you, right? Choose to be with you, choose to be with your children, and choose to like show up more in their life, in your life. But they may actually choose to go to work, because it is their oxygen. That's what I said, right? I said that what is your oxygen, right? What makes the fire burn and what kills the fire in you? Your inner life force energy. What kills the fire and what makes it burn, right? Because when you, I said that, right? I said that the two environments, if opposites are together, the two environments can present suffocating energy for each other, or it can present supportive energy for each other. But it takes communication. I said that, right? It takes communication, new ways of thinking, new ways of understanding. This is a purification of your fire. You need to figure out what drains your energy. You need to figure out what drains your energy, what takes your energy away, what limits you. And what makes your passion grow, or your sense of life grow, right? And I have the feeling of off the hook, right? There's something about being in the right environment with the right people, right? Something that makes the fire burn, not burn out. And what you are finding over here may not fit with the upbringing you had. It may not fit with everything you learned. It's something new. It's, as I said, an epiphany and a new awareness about yourself, perhaps, that you cannot be where you are. You need to get off that hook, right? That could be what? And when I say hook, it goes well with Saturn. It goes well with Capricorn, because as I said, Capricorn, it's a blessing, but it's so ugly wrapped. Like, you may have been in this, whatever situation you may have been in, you may have been there for a long time. You may have been there since childhood. You may have been there, as I said, while you were growing up. You were hearing these stories. You were supposed to follow a structure. You were supposed to follow some kind of family line, or family business, or family duty, or something. You were supposed to do that. But is it killing you? If it drains your energy, like the bare essential, the naked truth and wholeness, what makes you whole, what feeds you, keeps you alive, or what drains you, makes the fire, what suffocates your fire. And I think this is something that is very raw and very sometimes difficult to say out loud, because it will be misunderstood. You will be looked at as someone who is arrogant and selfish, and but I believe this is literally what drives some people, right? Whether you are on one side or the other, you have some kind of fire that burns for something specific. And if you are not in that environment, you will feel the pressure of this. You will feel like you're suffocating or withering, right? That's what this is about. I feel like it's a door to personal. This is what Saturn is teaching. But you have to go through this, I want to say, very low oxygen, a period of very low oxygen and choose this, deliberately choosing this, knowing that you leave perhaps everything behind, but you have to, right? You have to go there, because otherwise you are suffocating. Your fire is burning out. You can't stay. It will literally kill you or make you sick if you stay. It's important to find this out, I feel like. Like my channel is called The Vibes Inside, right? Like this is a vibe inside, this fire. That is a vibe. It's something that it's what keeps you alive. It's a life force. We are not all the same. Our life forces are different. You have to figure out if you have been or are in an environment that drains your energy. If it does drain your energy, you're in the wrong place. You can't breathe there. It's like polluted air for you. As I said it in the beginning, right? It's like and I said this feeling of being too far away. It's like two people looking at each other, right? And they can't find common ground, because if one needs to compromise, the oxygen gets polluted. And if this one needs to compromise, their oxygen gets polluted. That's the problem with opposites, I feel like. And that's why we have divorces, because it's like we actually feel threatened by the other. The other can destroy us if we bow to them. If we compromise too much, our life force is threatened. And I'm not saying that either of them is more right. I don't think so. It's just two opposites. And I think that the truth about this, when we understand, if this is someone you love deeply, when we understand this about the other, we may realize how much we can hurt them, and vice versa. How much they threaten us and how much they can hurt us. And at the same time, how much we may long for them, and vice versa. It can be very difficult to find that common ground. But I think that with like a raw, naked truth and openness to try to understand each other, I think you can get far. I think that, and some couples do, right? They find out a way. But opposites, this is difficult, right? It's really difficult. But I hope this helped in some way. This is what I feel like. I hope this helped, and take care of yourself during this full moon. Again, Saturn can be difficult to handle. But I feel like just breathe, right? Breathe through this energy, whatever may come up. Again, this is a general reading. It will not fit everyone out there. You will know whether this is something you recognize or not. And if not, never mind. There are many other readers out there. But this is what I do on my channel, right? I do something like this. Okay, I hope this helped. Take care of yourself, everybody. Love and light to all of you. Bye bye.